Hi, this is Majinoni, and this is another edition of Let's Talk About Previews. Now, this was the September preview, so these are books that are going to be coming out in November. First up, we have Dark Horse. Probably the only thing that looked interesting that would be new is Sledgehammer 44. This is going to be like Mike Mignola's like armored type character. Now, Mike Minoga does have fantastic storytelling abilities, and I don't want to downplay any of his other books that he has coming out. But the only reason I'm highlighting this one is because this is like a brand new character or brand new storyline. Okay, next up is we're going to be talking about the cash grab that is year zero. See, now Batman the Zero Year is basically taking place during Forever Evil. And obviously, these characters are all supposedly dead, but they're really not dead. They're in prison somewhere, and they're getting kind of like depowered, or their powers are wonky because of this prison. And so instead of doing some really thoughtful ideas with these stories, what they did was they took a whole bunch of titles, they went to Zero Year, and not only did they did it to Batman, but they decided to tie it in with almost everything. You have Zero and tie-in with Action Comics number 25, Batgirl, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Green Lantern Corps, Green Arrow, Detective Comics, The Flash. Geez, what crucial part did Barry Allen play in the Zero Year saga? How about nothing? Because they first met in Justice League number 1. You know what I mean? Really? Catwoman, Zero Year, Nightwing, Zero Year, Batwing, Zero Year, and Birds of Prey. All of these are tie-ins. And I'm like going, okay, Manunoni, I can hear you. Why are you picking on DC? And, to be fair, some of these kind of make sense. You can argue the point of Batgirl or Nightwing or Red Hood and the Outlaws, and you can actually do some really compelling storytelling with the, like what happened, before the DC Now started. But when you start throwing in Flash and Green Lantern, the Green Lantern Corps, really? How is that supposed to tie into Zero Year? Oh, the Riddler throws everything in darkness, so a young Marine named John Stewart is deployed as peacemaking. Why? Why? Unnecessary. And again, this goes back to my point, where, well, on one hand, I call DC a bunch of people who have no real direction. On the other hand, their marketing team is fantastic because, shoot, man, they plunge Gotham in darkness, and look how many books you got to read just to find out what happens. Because you can't tell it all in Batman. So, next up we have Harley Quinn Zero. And let's see what else we got. Of course, you're definitely going to want to pick up Sandman. Neil Gaiman is a phenomenal writer, and the Sandman was probably one of the top comics ever written. So I don't think that this is going to really disappoint at all. Going over to Image, we have Rick Remender's Black Science. Now, there's a whole bunch of new titles coming out at Image, but the two that really looked interesting was the Black Science number 1, and I'm throwing the JMS Protectors Inc. number 1. Now, personally, I'm not buying Protectors Inc. because I know what this thing is. This is just recycled stories. It's like the old Avengers, Invaders, and I know JMS did that other title that was very similar, to this over at Marvel. And so it's like, but he's a very popular creator, so I wanted to make sure that his fans knew that this is definitely coming out. Okay. Next up is the money-grabbing Marvel Comics. Well, I mean, for most of this, you're not going to think it's money-grabbing, but I'll point out the grab. First up, we have Cataclysm Ultimate Comics. I can't wait. This could be phenomenal. Like, if Galactus eats the Ultimate Universe. This will be the greatest thing ever written, and I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm hoping Marvel does not disappoint. And to your point, yeah, look at how many issues you have to buy here. So there is a little grab with that. For the bulk of the Marvel books, it's all ending. The Infinity stuff is ending, so I didn't include any of those titles. But we do have Iron Man. New story arc is beginning. Iron Metropolitan Part 1. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I'm just gonna wait and see. I might just do an impulse just to see what it's like. For Marvel Knights, we have Marvel Knights X-Men 1 of 5. Traditionally, Marvel Knights, for me, it's a hit and miss. And the thing that really worries me is when they start saying things like, "Well, when your past comes back," and I'm like, "Ah, screw you, the goddamn past." These characters have so much past that, they're I don't know where they had time to do anything else, because it's just constantly untold stories and hidden things, and like DC loves to do the first meeting for the 10th time. Like, how many times has Batman and Superman met for the first time? It kind of lessens the impact of the story. So anytime I see things like, dark past is coming back to haunt them, what happens when the past is going to come back to kill you? Well, Jesus, you're Wolverine, so you're going to obviously kill them back, Please. Next up is Longshot saves the Marvel Universe. Honestly, I'm probably not going to buy it, but Longshot's been a popular character, so I thought I'd point that out. And this is probably going to be a very controversial book, and that is the Jason Aaron Amazing X-Men #1, with the return of Nightcrawler. Why does Nightcrawler have to come back? He doesn't. He's dead. Let him stay dead until you can. If you really need to bring him back some other way, other than, hey, we want to launch another Marvel X-Men title. How can we do it so this way people will buy it? Oh, I know. We'll bring back Nightcrawler, and this way all the Nightcrawler fans will buy it, and we'll get everybody else to buy it at the same time. And I'm like, this is a blatant attempt at cashing in on getting huge sales at the beginning. Hopefully that they're going to think that the people will stay once Nightcrawler, this storyline is over, and then they have a hit on their hands. But let's be honest, most likely what's going to happen is sales are going to go up, and they're going to say this is bullshit, and it's going to come crashing and burning. And finally, we have X-Men Gold #1. This is another prime example of why do we have to go back into the past and tell an untold story. We don't need any more untold stories. That goes for Marvel. That goes for DC. What they're basically saying is this book doesn't matter. So just keep that in mind. It don't matter when you see it in the store. Now, the one thing that is making me wonder, though, is you do have a lot of talented people on here. So I don't know. We'll see if I get it or not. But right now, I'm kind of leaning to, I think I should be smart and save my money and not buy this. But anyways, this is what's coming out in November. I have high hopes for December. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to in November. What did I not cover that you think people should be picking up? Are you going to be saving your money? Do you all these year zeros bullshit nonsense? Anyways, I'll have more reviews later. So until next time.